All right, calculus, here we are for your Friday, the 29th video. And we are, again, looking at your Chapter 2, quiz number 2 review. Practice these questions over and over until you don't have to, look at the paper. You're just writing down everything that you've just practiced a ton. I would try, because in college, you're probably not getting reviews. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do for, especially an exam? How do you get ready? Well, first off, if it's a quiz, some classes don't have quizzes. It's just straight up exams. When I was in Calc 1 and 2, we did have 12 quizzes. The first 2 were always dropped, thankfully, because I usually didn't do too well on those. I had to kind of figure out, get a sense of what questions, where they were coming from, and it turns out like the more I did the homework, which was not graded, the homework wasn't graded. It was just like, you should look at these problems, and I most definitely did them. All right, a ton. Just practice them over and over. That was really helped out for the quizzes. And then when it came exam time, it was just look at all those homework problems that were assigned, do them a few times over again, and then do the quizzes. You know, maybe we had 3 or 4 quizzes before that exam. Do every single quiz again 2 to 3 times until like it was just Rain Man. I was just writing down. I didn't have to look at the paper. You might think that's goofy, but that's how you survive. That's how you make in college. So you can you be one of the cool kids and don't do that, or you can do it. And college, you could have a better GPA in college than you did in high school, even with significantly much harder classes like I did. Now, if you have perfect GPA, that's probably gonna be tough, but you can still do it. Okay, so please start learning this year. What do I need to do next year when I am in the big leagues, so to speak, to help myself out? And it is practicing these questions 3 or 4 times, 2 to 4 times. Let's go 3. 3 is good. All right, and some of you I know are starting on that early, and you've made incredible gains. It's been really impressive, and you can continue to do this. That's not an outlier. You can continue to do this. Use the limit definition of the derivative to find f prime of x. So here's the other formula you'll definitely have to know. Then we'll talk about velocity, but velocity is essentially this, okay? Velocity is essentially this. In fact, you divide by h, right? And it's just, we're just going to have a t plus h and a t, but a t will be an actual value. So it'll be like a 3 and a 3 or a 2 and a 2, and you'll have h and h. So velocity, in terms of the position function, being the derivative of the position function, these two are about the same. So have this down. This is the limit definition of the derivative. Anytime I ask you that, now, homework sets, quiz, exam, fall final, spring final, you have to show me that. All right, so I don't ask you a ton, and I don't make them like crazy. You're not going to have to do like sine x, or e to the 4x, or natural log of 3x squared plus 2x. We'll use derivative rules for that. So f of x is equal to 3x minus 2x squared. So I need f of x plus h. I plug x plus h in for x there and there. This is the f of x plus h part minus simply f of x. Make sure this is in parentheses or brackets because you're subtracting a negative x squared, which is going to make it a positive 2x squared. Okay, I did that, and then I FOILed this, and now I'm distributing right here. I didn't cancel anything off yet. Again, we've done enough of these. This is difference quotient. I've had so much practice in these that I'm just going to cancel. Anything that just has an x and no h has to be canceled. Okay. Again, notice how I write. Limit as x goes to h. Limit as x goes to, limit as h goes to 0. Limit as h goes to 0. Limit as h goes to 0. All right. Now I divide everything by h, but I've still not let h go to 0 yet. Now I let h go to 0. All right, right here. 3 minus 4x. Again, some of you might be able to look. The power rule with the simple polynomial, pretty easy to see. I've been really impressed. Heck, even in my first year, someone just popped and was like, is this how you do it? You know, some of you could probably guess 18B. That's great, but if it says limit definite, and that's good because you'll know what the answer is. Like, I know the answer has to be this, so you can go back and kind of check your work. So that's really good if you can see what the simple power rule for derivatives is. That'll be the first rule we learn. All right, so try this. F of x plus h minus f of x over h. I'm going to plug in x plus h there and there. This is f of x plus h minus f of x. Okay, square it, boom, and then minus 10, and then make sure the minus sign goes, subtraction sign goes through everything. Now, I did a lot of cleanup here because I was running out of room. So first off, that's a 10x squared and that's a 5x squared, and a 5x squared is going to cancel with a negative 5x squared. That's why it's gone. This is a 2xh, and that's right there. This is a 5h squared, and that's right there. And this is a positive 6h, boom, and then you have a negative 10 plus 10. All right? Guys, on a quiz, if you can do, like if you already know, Mr. Rick, I've done so many of these, I know it's going to be x squared. I'm going to multiply it by 5, boom, 5x squared. That's fine, that's fine. Just make sure you have the limit as h goes to 0. Okay, if some of you are quicker with the algebra, that is fine. So then divide everything by h. Okay, now let h be 0. 10x plus 6 is the general derivative of that function. Okay, here we go. Now we are on part 2. So that was 18. It cannot both be 18b. So I made a typo there. Whatever that one, you know what that one was. That was evidently one of 18 as well. So now we're on part 2. Now I recognize that the first one on part 2 was already in part 1. So you can do that one twice. Again, I told you to do them 3 times, so yeah, practice it. All right, so this one's new. You have the limit as x approaches 2, and we did one on the previous review, very similar to it. Can't let x be 0. I get 0, or 2. I get 3 minus 3, which is 0, over 2 minus 2, which is 0. 0 over 0 is indeterminate. We multiply top and bottom by the conjugate, the square root of 4x plus 1 plus 3. Got to adjust the foot there. All right, so here is what we have. There you go. There we go. 4x plus 1 at minus 9 gives us 4x minus 8. I'm going to factor out the 4. 4 times x minus 2. And we want x minus 2 in the top and the bottom because the x minus 2 is causing the issue. Let's make it my denominator and numerator 0. X minus 2 is now gone. Now I can plug 2 in for x. Now I can plug 2 in for x. Get the square root of 9, which is 3. 4 over 6 is 2/3. All right, 2/3. Use the intermediate value theorem to show that there is a root of the equation in the given interval. All right. So, again, can't set it equal to 0. Can't set it equal to 0. Or I have to set it equal to 0. I can't leave it like this. I have to set it equal to 0. I'm looking for what value of x gives me a y value, because this is f of x of 0. All right, I'm looking for the root, the solution, the x-intercepts. So I plug 0 in for x. And I don't get 0, I get 2. And I plug 2 in for x, and what I did there is, you might be in a situation next year where you don't have a calculator. So you're going to be like, well, if this is close to 3, 3 minus 2, or 9 is a negative 2, 2 times a negative 2, that's a negative number. That's a negative 4. It's going to be a little bit more than negative 4, but negative to positive crosses 0. But you can't use a calculator here, so there you go. That is roughly, so I did it up here, so 2 times e to the second is roughly that, minus 22 is roughly that, or it is that, this is that. If you reduce approximately, that's fine too. It crosses 0. It goes from above the x-axis, 2 below the x-axis. It crosses the x-axis. All right, and we are doing great. We are doing great. You know, we got our sponsors, Noon, Cliff Bar, Tasty with Energy, and living that gluten-free life, folks. Aldi's finest. Aldi's finest. Okay. 17b, what's the equation of the tangent line to that curve at 12,6? So the limit as x approaches 12 is f of x minus f of a. All right. All over x minus a. Difference of the y values over difference of the x values. So you're going to times root 3x plus 6 all over root 3x plus 6. Multiply by the conjugate. Again, practice, practice, practice. We got, what, a week? I would imagine a week. I'm going to guess your quiz is on a Wednesday. Tuesday seems a little aggressive. But what are you going to do? You're going to check online. All right. Practice, practice, practice. 3x minus 36. 3x minus 36. Folks, I remember when I was, story time again, when I was getting, when I was taking classes for my master's, fall of 2015. I had to, I signed up to like help out at a volleyball game with Mount Olive, and what was I doing? Off to the side? I was practicing for my first exam. Just had the book, suggested homework questions, actual homework questions. I was just doing them over in a separate notebook, over and over and over again. Later, it might have been later that week, went up to Peoria with my dad to pace a marathon. We had to help sign people up if they want to join our pace team at the expo. So what was I doing there at our booth? You guessed it. Talking to people, but also in between practicing for my exam. So there you go, folks. Any spare time, if you're here in Impact, if not, any spare time, folks, practice for exam. If you're in English, right, just like do math instead. All right, please send that to more, unless you're reading something good. All right, so if you're reading the separate piece, fine. Grapes of Wrath, okay, you can read that. So 3x minus 36, that's going to be 3 times x minus 12. Gulag Archipelago, fine, you can read that too. All right. Man's Search for Meaning, all those you can read. So instead of doing math. 3 over, though, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, he was trained mathematician before he was sent to the gulags. Then he won the Nobel Peace Prize for his book. So he made a good train. That was a smart transition, being an author. Okay, gonna plug 12 in for x. Finally. Then I can drop the limit as x goes 12. And so my slope is a quarter. I have y minus 6 is equal to a quarter times x minus 12. This is in part 2. Part 2, find f prime of x if, f of x is equal to x squared plus 9. Again, look at my answer and look what I was originally given. Some of you may be making some connections. So it is the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. There's my work, minus, make sure the negative sign goes through, then I distribute, boom, and I did cancel some things off, the 9x's, that is. All right. And then divide everything by h and let h be 0, 4x plus 9. Again, pause that, look at that, we practice this a bunch. I'll make sure we practice at least one of each question. We got to do a few of the velocity ones since I won't do those. I'll wait to do those with you. And that's on your next homework set. Whether or not it's on the quiz, it's definitely on the exam. We want to practice those as well. So that was page 3. And one more, folks. This is it. The last one of my 11 days away from you. 42 videos in total. This is the last question. The limit as x goes to infinity of this. So there is no denominator, but you know I need to multiply the top and bottom by the conjugates. This is going to give me 4x squared plus 3x minus 4x squared. 4x squared is going to cancel. Limit as x goes to infinity of 3x over square root of 4x squared plus 3x plus 2x. Again, this is approximately, make sure you have that in there. Because it doesn't equal. This, does not equal that exactly. It doesn't, because I've gotten rid of the 3x. All right, so I'm getting rid of the 3x because 4x squared is the one that matters most. It's got the highest power of x. So this is approximately, limit as x goes to infinity of 3x over 4x squared plus 2x. Why does 2x get to say? Because the square root of x squared is x. These are the same power. What is, now, this limit does in fact equal this limit, because I'm taking the square root of 4x squared, which is just 2x. The x's cancel. Now I'm sort of letting x go to infinity. 3/4. 3/4 is my answer. All right, folks, that is it. We will start getting ready for this quiz and then this exam. Quiz first week, exam second week. We are doing excellent on pace. That is, pace-wise, we're doing excellent. That homework set 3, I mean, you can do it now. This is Friday's video, so hopefully you have it done. Hopefully it's done by Friday. All right? Early and often with those homework sets, folks. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is Yak Math Videos signing out.